We're going.
Ian, I told you I'm not going to do the intro.
What? Well, we're
Never.
live. You just did. Thank you very much.
All right. So
What's
I am
going
doing
on,
the intro.
everyone?
Welcome
Give
to the
her.
Flannel panel where we pair everything. Oh,
We pair.
wrong show. Wrong show. My bad.
Is Eric here?
I hope so, or he better listen. I actually found some cool fodder. I was one of the guys that suggested the Cool Ranch Doritos,
Yeah.
and I should have brought the bag down. I bought something for him today that's for him to pair, and it was the weirdest thing. And you know me, I buy anything that looks new in a bag. So it was a Mexican street corn Cheetos.
Huh.
Are those like black market, or you can those readily
No,
available?
they were at our black. You have to understand here in Utah. Oh, my!
Are you
my
getting
key-
raided?
No, must be. Nat's yelling at me for my keys. They're down here.
Nat, do you know we're live right now?
Yeah, we're live. My keys are. I just threw them over there by the door. Anyway, sorry about that.
All right. So Mexican.
So yeah, Utah is. Convenience stores in Utah are gathering places. Utah drinks more fountain drinks per capita than anywhere in the country. I guarantee it. We have soda shops. I mean, dedicated shops for quote unquote dirty sodas where they drive up and you order a Coke, Diet Coke, and then add whatever you want, vanilla flavoring, raspberry, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so the Holiday store here is our gas station. And so when they debut products, it always goes to the gas stations here because that's where everybody shops. So I saw it at the gas station. Of course, I bought a couple. Haven't tried them yet, but I'll keep you posted.
I've
And you
got an
get it.
inside source with Frito Lay. I think that's Frito Lay product, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Cheetos.
I'm gonna check this, see if this is a legit thing, or if you're
Hey,
just.
I will. I don't lie. I fudge, but I don't lie.
I'm thinking maybe you got one pulled over on you at the Circle K.
It's totally possible. I didn't. That's one place I didn't show you. I think we did a drive-by of one of the dirty soda places, but we never did go get a.
Yeah, I was afraid to go in there.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Each convenience store has their own commemorative mug that you can refill, and they go as high as like 64 ounces. It's
The
crazy.
convenience store has a commemorative mug.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like a mug club.
Yeah. Everyone has your own password to get in.
Keypad on the door. Yeah.
It's like a dispensary only for soda.
It is. I mean, matter of
Do you
fact,
guys call it soda in Utah? In Ohio, we still call it pop.
We're growing up. We called everything Coke.
Oh yeah,
we're one of those.
Isn't that a Southern thing? I thought that was a Southern thing.
Because we always went and got a Coke, but my mom loved Pepsi and Diet Pepsi, so we'd still go get a Coke and go buy a Pepsi. It might be a Southern thing.
I grew up in a Pepsi house, but I switched to Coke in my.
Yeah, Pepsi or Coke? That's a good question. What do you think in the chat? Is it Pepsi or Coke? And we got a few people here tonight. We got
nice.
James. James is here.
Hey, buddy.
Nat, as always. Andrew West. Good to see Andrew. The podcast saying, "Let's go, baby," and that's going to be Will.
Oh shit!
That's
First
awesome.
technical difficulty. I went to turn the light on and tell me if that's too much of my face. Okay.
No,
you're beautiful. I love it. Nat saying Pepsi is for Yankees, and
I don't like that term, Nat.
The podcast says Coke. Tommy D says RC Cola.
I'm with you. I remember RC.
Tommy.
Hell yeah.
RC Cola.
That's for the people that couldn't afford Coke.
Exactly.
As with everything, I have a muddled take on things. I actually like Pepsi from a can or a container, but Coke from a fountain, for some reason, the restaurant fancy. Coke is delicious.
You are fancy. I can see that.
Patty's a big fountain soda person, but my preferred, I just prefer to have a can myself. More than a bottle or anything.
A beer, right?
Well, Yeah, that goes for everything.
Yeah.
And I've often said, you know how now that you can get pop or soda in, they have these little 7-ounce cans. I think they should do that with beer, because I've always said the first crack is like the best drink of beer, and then after that it's just trying to get to the bottom of the can. So if you get those little 7-ouncers, you know,
That's a great idea.
yeah.
Beer gets, and I'm not a big beer guy, but I'm one of those that has to have a very cold.
Yes.
I like beer from a draft beer. I like it from a bar, sitting at a bar. If it's in a can, it's okay, but that's my preferred spot for a beer.
And I've tried several because I have some beer buddies, but I do not.
I prefer
Out of
beer
the
out of the fountain. Yes.
Whiskey Weekend, batch 5, batch 6. Are we on 5 or 6?
5.
5.
Beer fountain.
I do not like IPAs and all that. The whole new
I'm
beer
not either.
craze.
I'm not man enough for IPA. That's the way I say it. It
No.
makes everybody happy.
You like the sours though, so
I love sours. I don't like bitter. I don't.
I'd rather just have a ham sandwich.
Yeah,
hams. Yeah, that works.
They're just heavy, and you know what I mean. They're like a meal.
James is saying Coke or Mountain Dew. That's throwing a curveball on the Coke and Pepsi thing. But are you Mountain Dew fans or not?
I like it, but I don't really drink it.
Really?
It's very syrupy.
I'm too old. That's the generation behind me. Is the Mountain Dew guys. The young guys at work drink Mountain Dew. The old guys,
that's me then. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. See, and being old, I've had to graduate to the zeros. And
I like Coke Zero.
I love Coke Zero. I like
good.
a lot. I do not like Mountain Dew. Diet Mountain Dew. It's horrible.
Will's saying pro tip: ham sandwich and a beer. So
Oh, I didn't know you could eat and drink at the same time.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Whenever I'm in the middle of a Whiskey Wednesday, Patty's always wanting to bring food out, and I'm not in the mood for eating. I'm on drinking duty, and you know what I mean. So it makes her mad. Well, how can you not eat anything? Like, we'll eat tomorrow.
We'll eat. Just drinks tonight.
Yeah, tonight we drink.
We got somebody new in the chat. Brock O'Connor. What's up, Uncle Troy?
Hey.
Oh, that's my nephew. He's really wanting to make an appearance on the panel, but he's just
do it.
I think he's like 19, so I don't know if we've got an age.
We'll bring him up here.
Oh yeah, we'll bring him to Canada. That's already believe.
Yeah, it's legal.
Yeah.
Technically, if it's not in his room, we're good. We can influence him from all over, but he can't. As long as there's no alcohol in his vicinity, we're good to go.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
Other than that, we're just bad influences. We're just bad uncles.
No idea what you're talking about.
I take pride in being the bad uncle.
Yeah. Will says I can eat and drink at the same time. I'm ambidextrous. Yes. I like that. I like that. So I went to Taco Bell today.
Uh-oh.
Do you guys like, speaking of Mountain Dew, because that's where I get Mountain Dew all the time, is at Taco Bell.
Baja.
I like Taco Bell,
but
it's
not here.
Before you get into your story, it's passed me by because I'm not smart enough to get on the app, so that there's only like 20% of the menu available to me, at the store. So Taco Bell just kind of passed me by,
So we have different food, like different menu items at Taco Bell up here, but it's just always the box. Whatever the box is, I'll take that. So it's the big box or whatever. Yeah.
Do y'all have Mexican pizza?
Nope.
No, not anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
It's back and it's glorious.
Well, maybe it's back. I don't know.
Oh, it's back if you have the app.
I just do the drive-through and I'll take the big box. You never know what you're getting. Yeah.
I always take the big box.
So, do you ever have like Taco Bell regret? You're
every time
throwing away the bag. Like, oh, I should have.
Currently.
Yeah.
Yes.
You buy 2 cheesy gordita crunches and a Mexican pizza, and you get halfway through one, and you're just, I can't finish. But then you have to because you because you're a fiscally minded person.
You don't want to waste the 79 cents.
Yeah, I know. What's your go-to? So Jason, Mexican pizza, but if you don't have that, what's your go-to Taco Bell order?
My standard is bean and cheese burritos with no onions and extra sour cream.
Wow.
Okay.
I was a big quesarito guy, but that's something that's not on the menu anymore. So my go-to now is just like a chili cheese burrito, something like that.
Okay.
Remember when they used to have Frito burritos? Those are the best.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. It's just it's a tortilla stuffed with chili. It's basically, chili. What is it? Chili Fritos stuffed in a tortilla. So it's cheese, chili, and corn chips stuffed in a tortilla.
Yeah. Cheesy gordita crunch or cheesy gordita, whatever that is probably my favorite. But I had a grilled cheese burrito today. Because that's what the box was. I just ordered the box, get a soft taco and some fries, and you're set. But it was a grilled cheese burrito. It was pretty decent, actually. A lot of cheese.
So is it like a mystery box? You don't know what you're getting until you open the box?
No,
or?
they have it on the screen, but I never look. I'm just like, I'll take the box, and then.
But it switches from month to month.
Yeah, I wish they'd keep the good ones, but yeah.
Yeah.
Will says he's a number 7 with a soft taco. Are you a hard taco or soft taco fan? This could also go sideways.
I'm more of a soft taco.
I used to be a hard taco. In my old age, I've gone to the soft taco.
Yeah.
And I've also realized I'm more of a flour tortilla than a corn tortilla guy.
Completely
like from
agree.
local street tacos and stuff.
Yes.
Well, they used to have those double deckers that had both. Those were the best.
Wow.
So they had the regular taco, and then they put cheese, and then they wrapped it in a soft taco.
I didn't know we were going to talk fast food. I could have prepared. I've got years.
Look at us.
Tommy D says hard taco supreme, and then Clint's saying Taco Bell lost me when they ended the double decker tacos. See? Not even the Mexican pizza is enough to bring me back.
I feel you, man.
Clint's of my generation. We are done with the Bell.
Done with the Bell.
I'm more of a Chewy's guy. You guys ever seen or heard of Chewy's?
Oh, what's that?
It's a small chain. I don't know how far they go, but it's pretty good. It's just kind of like it's a Mexican restaurant chain here in Ohio. I don't know. It goes into Kentucky. When we go down to do like barrel picks and stuff, we always hit one around Cincinnati or that area.
Oh, sweet. We have a local chain called Burger's Priest up here that just opened right by my work. So I'm stoked about that. And it's they do a take on like Catholic church and a burger joint. So the guy was in ministry going to become a priest, and then realized he likes food more than people. So I guess he still likes people because he started a retail shop, but he started a burger joint while he was in the school or whatever it is. So right. He called it Burger's Priest. There's like an offering plate as the tip jar. There's like scripture all over the place and like church pews as seating and stuff like this, but they make the best burgers. Cool. And everything burger is related to something. So the Vatican is the burger I ordered. So it's 2 grilled cheeses with a 2 patty like smash burger kind of thing with cheese and then like sauteed onions and a whole bunch of stuff. It was solid.
That sounds pretty good.
It was good.
Do they have a spicy one called the Apocalypse?
It's called Holy Smokes. Yeah, Holy Smokes.
The funny name reminded me of a place when we go to Canada fishing. When we drive through Sault Ste. Marie, there's a Chinese restaurant that always cracks me up called the Hard Walk Cafe. So I always thought that was funny.
Sault Ste. Marie, there's not much up there, but
nope. That place has been there for years, though.
Yeah.
Never stop.
We have a little Vietnamese place around the corner called Da Pho. DU-PHO.
Yeah.
What the pho?
That's some good marketing. Yeah, that would work. Are you guys pho or faux fans? Have you had that?
Oh yeah.
I see it on the Food Network and it looks delicious, but I've never really been able to find any in my local market. So yeah, I've not.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna send Troy triggered soon, but
is it like a soup or is it like just noodles?
Soup. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I
see,
guess
that
it's
has
soup. I
everything.
feel like
It's-
people would say that I'm blaspheming because
See,
of that.
that's
But
what
yeah,
like broth. Yeah, that's what I've seen on TV. But when I got it local, it was just like a bowl of noodles that looked like it needed broth or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
yeah.
well, I don't know about the traditional. The ones around here, it's a really hot broth. They put noodles and then like shaved beef that's raw, but when you put it in the hot broth, it cooks it.
yeah.
And then it has like jalapenos and sprouts and all the veggies on top. Usually lime. I usually stay away.
Those
I'm not.
peppers are not
I'm one of those
for me.
people in the world that
Yeah.
cilantro tastes like soap. So I hate cilantro with a passion.
Oh no, I like cilantro.
Hate it. It's a
But see,
thing.
that's a thing.
So,
That's a thing. Yeah.
you
It
know,
is.
like 20% of the population have it. No big deal.
You
But
guarantee you'd be one of them, though. You know.
oh, I am. That was a really poorly timed, super bad joke.
Tommy D says, "Okay, stop talking about food. Just ate something. Okinawa soki soba. Not sure what that is, and I'm getting hungry
Google
again.
it.
Google it. I don't have time, but that sounds delicious.
That sounds.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're like they say, like Chinese food. You're hungry a half hour later, so maybe it's something similar. You know.
That's Okinawa's Japanese.
Hey,
I think.
Kim.
Sounds
Kim's
Japanese.
here.
doesn't it?
Mark is here. Cheers. And Natalie says, "Sup." What do you guys got in your glass though? Since it is Whiskey Wednesday after all.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to tell you until later in the show because I'm going to use it as just the tip. I got a new bottle this week, and so far so good.
I could probably do the same thing, but this might be more of a warning label.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So my stylist, I went and got my haircut today, and you know,
What letter is that under in the phone book?
awesome.
Like,
A,
is
I
it under
guess.
B for barber, or is it actually under S for stylist?
In my phone, it's S for Sarah. So
Like
yellow
Sarah.
Oh.
I have my stylist on
first name basis.
text, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what the yellow pages are anymore.
So anyway, she's actually a hockey player, and she's doing a tournament down in Vegas, and she was really nervous because she was running out of errand time because she took a couple extra hair appointments, and she's doing the dry January, but she's been getting a lot of peer pressure from her teammates to drink while she's in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this little shop up in Salt Lake, one of the frou shops that sells like mocktails in a can. So being the nice guy that I am, I went and picked them up for her. Nat and I went up to the shop. We were curious anyway, you know, and bought a bunch for her to take to Vegas. Well, while we were there, just for kicks and giggles, everything in there is all, you know, alcohol-free alcohol. And I might actually bought some. They had some weird. So Ransom, I don't know, Ransom whiskey. It's a craft distiller out of Oregon. They actually make a really good single malt. Well, they have their line of mocktail stuff. They have like alcohol-free gin and alcohol-free, who knows what the hell.
Sounds wonderful.
Anyway, long story short, I just for kicks, Nat grabbed this and wanted me to try. It's called a phony Negroni. So it's an alcohol-free Negroni cocktail. I'm already regretting it, but I figured, what the hell? It's content. So that's what I'm going to try to drink right now. I was going to do fridge ice, of course, because I mean, pay homage.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells like it's more of an essential oil store.
No, I'm not real familiar with the Negroni cocktail in the first place, so
I don't either. Will, help me out. Will knows.
Nat does too. I think.
Nat, help me out with Negroni. Damn
No
it. I was
idea.
going to look that up too.
they both quit watching 10 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, there we go. They're gone. Kim, you got to know what a Negroni is.
Well, if Will's still on, I'm actually cracking something fun. This is an old one. The bed.
They don't make those anymore.
They don't make the bed pour anymore, and I'm going to give it a crack and let's see how it goes.
Okay, it's gin, vermouth, and Campari. So orange liqueur, yeah.
Okay.
So cheers on this.
Cheers.
Phony
Maybe.
Negroni. Well,
He looks like he's holding her down.
It's
burns so good.
it tastes like, and I'm sorry, the makers of this stuff, it's horrible. I'm I've said it millions of times, I don't like bitter, but this tastes like if you took a orange rind, rubbed it in dirt, threw it in a glass, and threw some water and cayenne pepper with it or something. Oh, it's still
Sounds
on
like
my
something
tongue.
Clint would like.
Still on my tongue.
Yeah, not anything non-alcoholic that I've had has this like weird spice to it that's not real. But yeah.
Well, if I wanted a mocktail, I would just prefer to have like a blend of juices, like some orange juice with something else in it, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than like a fake alcohol.
It's
maybe it has to get cold. Maybe it has to get cold. Let it sit.
Try it again here in a second.
Let it sit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah, let it sit and then give it another good go. Will saying a great cocktail is a Boulevardier, which is a Negroni sub bourbon for the gin. Okay.
Oh.
So take out the gin and throw in some bourbon.
Throw a little bourbon in there. Throw a little bourbon in there.
Troy's getting happy with these cocktails.
Yeah. This is one of our better shows. This is right up there with the Little Debbie show. All
right, here goes. Still not good, but it actually is better.
So for dry January, just add a bit of bourbon to this cocktail.
Add a little bit of makers.
Yeah.
Well,
perfect.
I'm not even going to tell you who made it because I don't want to disparage them.
Is it like a distillery or like somebody we would have heard of or something?
No, that was kind of everybody in there was only has 90 calories.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a fair bit of calories for garbage cocktail.
Oh, they were bottled in the gentrified area of Brooklyn, New York. So that says something. New York City.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So before we jumped on, Troy and I were both saying, how are you doing? And Troy's like, meh. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you sound kind of sick, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm just kind of getting over a cold, whatever the case is. And he's like, January. I think I said January sucks. And he's like, yeah, seasonal, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And what, like, man, this year specifically, and it hasn't been too bad weather-wise until today, where the power may go out at any minute because we got a nasty snowstorm and whatnot. But I was like, what can I do? What would be a nice thing for tonight? We got the flannel panel, what would be a nice thing? And I was like, you know what? The bed pour. I've had this out for a while, and this was a while ago. I picked this up at Whiskey Weekend Batch 2. That was one of the things I brought home. So that was a fun one. And it was a Fairview pick that Will and Grease did with him. And I was like, that would make me happy. We'll pour that, reminisce a little bit. And man, it's a fantastic bourbon. So
now, have you had a bottle of it already, or is this?
I have not. This is the first time since then that I've cracked it. So yeah,
that could be like the last the last one that hadn't been opened in America or so. Well, Canadian.
North America. Yeah,
North America. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. I have one. Will says he's got one that he's bunkered. It's one of his favorites. It's delicious. I'm really enjoying it right now.
Speaking of Eagle Rare, I actually had a fun story this weekend. I just remembered. I texted it to y'all a little bit. So Nat has a lot of very smart friends. And some of our colleagues, we had a dinner. We went to their house, and it was a delicious dinner with like extra forks and everything. It was just beautiful. Anyway, it's another colleague. He does a lot of psychology stuff. We'll just leave it there. Anyway, wonderful people. And we were having dinner, and we were having conversation that's entirely over my head. But I feigned interest very well. So I'm proud of myself there. But towards the end, he knows that we're whiskey guys. And we actually got into really in-depth. This is the kind of people they are. Not just whiskey. It was like processes, like what degrees takes out this part of the heads and, just crazy. Anyway, at the end of the end of the evening, he had a story he wanted to admit to me. He's like, I got something for you guys. And he goes run out, he gets this box, and he says, a couple years ago, I saw in the news that they were raffling high expensive whiskeys. So I just threw my name in and I won one. And I don't know nothing about whiskey, but the guy said, this is very expensive. Just so you know, don't let someone take advantage of you. It's even on the box, he had it written an annotation, $2,000, don't give away or something. You know, he was telling the story. He's like, I've been waiting for a special occasion and it was so great. And it was beautiful. And I was so impressed. And he says, but then COVID hit. And he says, I've been at home and I got depressed. And it was the only bottle in the house. So I opened it and celebrated for myself. He said, I drank 3/4 of this myself in solitude, and I'm very ashamed. And I told him, no, that's what it's there for. Well, and so after telling that story, he pulls this bottle out of the box, and in the bottom is like maybe 1/4 of a bottle of 2020 Eagle Rare 17.
That's a nice win.
Yeah. One of only 3 bottles that were allocated to Utah that year.
Wow.
So I passed. So we killed it with him and he took the bottle home. He says, first he goes, I had to explain him. He says, I want you to go home and I want you to fill this bottle with something else and make it look really cool, like it's a real bottle. I said, can't do that. I don't want to go into details, but I will take the bottle. And I had it because I have that bottom. Well, the first thing he said, like all of everyone else would say, well, it wasn't happy, but it's this. And I said, this is more rare than Pappy. Enjoy it. It was, and in my opinion, a better bottle, but opinions vary.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have that trophy bottle with everybody, you know, the good bottles I share. And I said, I'll take it only if you guys sign it. So we all signed the bottle. And so I now have a new Eagle Rare 17 on my empty trophy case.
Oh, cool.
That's sweet.
And there's a good picture of Nat with it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that girl's a booze hound.
Yeah, she got the ceremonial last drop. She tipped the last half an ounce from the bottle. So
I've always said I would rather take almost anything, just me personally, any of the VTAC stuff probably before the Pappy stuff. I don't know. I mean, if I was looking to trade, I guess the Pappy stuff would be worth a lot, but I'd rather drink the VTAC.
Yeah, you're a proof guy though.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be it.
If I were to win a Pappy, as much as it's cool, I would either save it for someone to get a chance to try it if it hasn't, or trade it for a couple bottles that I want to share with. You know, I would gladly.
No, I've not had a lot of Pappy. I had, I think I tried the 10 and the 12, and then what did we have this year? Was it the Nate
20.
had was
The
20?
20.
Man, that was very good.
That 20 was really nice. Yeah.
I was surprised that it's not high proof. You know, I guess you wouldn't want a 20-year-old very high proof, but it wasn't over oaked or it was really good.
Completely agree.
That's the one that Casey, Whiskey Weekend Batch 1, when he found out we had never had Pappy, he ordered a round of Pappy 20 for the table because, in his opinion, that's the best one.
It was the one we had
pretty cool.
Was fantastic
too.
Yeah.
Casey's pretty cool.
Yeah, Casey's cool that way.
I have a similar story. My first Whiskey Weekend was Batch 2. We're sitting in, I don't know, the little bar there that we kind of ran everything out of, or the Owl's Nest or whatever it's called. And they brought out pours of George T. Steak for everybody. You remember that? In the plastic cups?
Yeah.
And they handed them all out. And I said, just nonchalant, I can't remember who all was sitting by me, but I just, this is the first BTAC I've ever tasted. And Travis Gintz was sitting in front of me, turned around and said, really? Yeah. So he just dumped his in mine. So I'm like, oh, now I got a double. So I'm like, well, thanks. And then somebody gave, like Greaser Will gave him another one. And he dumped that. So I had like a triple.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it was a hell of a good first night.
That was a fun night.
I've got a picture of the glass or the cup. It's a plastic cup with half full. Pretty awesome.
That's great. Yeah, I forgot about that first night there with the BTAC and
yeah, I don't know if I don't know if this is interesting to anybody, but That's the night that. So the first night, and I'm just meeting everybody for the first time, and I got all drunk there. And then that was the night Don had all those bottles for us, and we were buying them from him in the parking lot. And my debit card would not work on his reader for
That's
whatever.
right.
My bank put a hold on it. I'm out there in the parking lot trying to buy $400 worth of booze, or however much it was, and I couldn't figure it out. And I mean, I had a credit card, but Ian just finally like, here, put it on my card. So then I had, so then I had to pay him, make his whole thing. And I called Pat. I'm like, something wrong with my card. She's like, well, idiot. Put it on the credit card. I'm like, oh, yeah. So, yeah. So next day I'm looking for an ATM to get money.
I forgot about that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That shows the community though. That shows what it is. And Will's here in the chat, but like I met you that day.
Yeah.
I met you that morning, picked you up from your house, and then was like, here, I'll pay for your $400 of whiskey.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like
12 hours later, you give me $400. And
Yeah,
that's also the same evening that I made an impression on the front porch.
You made an impression.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The tease was born. Yeah.
Yeah. I might have overdone it. I blame it all. It probably all goes back to the George T. Stagg.
Yeah. And Will says, I think it was the George T. Stagg report. Yeah, it was. I remember that. Yeah.
Speaking of an impression, this might be just a tip or news, but I saw on my Instagram that Ashley Two Worlds Batch 2 is going to be released fairly soon.
In France, I think.
In France, yeah.
That's right.
But, about that. We know someone in France, so maybe we can get a bottle snuck over.
Yeah, that's true. I did see that on Instagram as well.
I think she's learned her lesson against promising all of us dumb Americans to ship it, because she had a hell of a time getting it back over.
When you're in Scotland, isn't that close enough to swing by and pick up a bottle?
It might be. It might be. I could definitely try. Everything's a train right away. So yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. Oh, Troy, what do you? So yours is just the tip. We don't know what you're drinking yet.
Nope, it's the
mystery pour.
Could be a new daily drinker if you're so inclined.
Oh, yeah, so I have something that it's not my just the tip, but I listened to the podcast on the drive to work today. So I've been watching the YouTube feed for the longest time, and it's great. But I threw it back on audio, and as I was driving, I was like, "This is old times. This is so nice." And if you've only known them as the YouTube personalities, they're great on there. But that podcast, just listening to them without anything, and putting your own picture up. Yeah, it was, and the audio sounds so good. So,
yeah. And there's something really cool about, like, I've still listened to both, even during the live stream. I've listened to the live stream, and then when it pops up, I'll listen to it on the ride to work, and it's still great. But there was something like extra special, like the first time, like last Monday, when it pops into my podcast
queue or whatever, yeah.
And so and I plug it in, and it's brand new material. I haven't heard this yet.
Yeah.
And driving to work and listening to it was cool.
It sounds so good. The audio is crisp compared to like what I hear on my computer speakers or whatever, because it's coming through my phone now and whatnot. It's good. Yeah, it was a breath of fresh air almost with that. I really enjoyed it. So check them out on the podcast as well.
Yeah,
Clint's saying I'm loving it as well. Back. Yeah, Will, thank you. That's awesome. We enjoy it.
And if anybody the three people that are not in the podcast that listens to us, Whiskey Weekend Batch 5 is coming up very soon, the 8th of March, I believe. Or is it the 3rd of March? 8th. Anyway, one of those days. So if you want to give me a hug in person, go to Whiskey Weekend Batch 5.
There you go.
I give good hugs. I ain't gonna lie.
True. And he'll probably have whiskey with them.
Will.
Will says it only took 2 years of fighting to get it back that way, but it sounds awesome. I love it.
It's great.
I really feel like it's had to been his doing, right? Because I feel like the other guy.
Well, you know what? The interaction between the two guys is back to what we knew.
So genuine, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just them. It's not. Yeah, and it's such a different dynamic. So I really like it. It's really good. So Kim has a question. Kim has something. Mark bought a new 4-gate yesterday to get his points balance high enough to buy Parker's Heritage. Wow, anyone tried it? I'm excited. So I'm living up in Canada. We don't see anything for years after it's released, so probably not. But you guys or anyone in the
wish.
chat?
Is she asking about the Parker's Heritage or the 4-gate? We see 4-gate down here, but not the Parker's Heritage.
I think she was looking to buy. I've heard nothing but amazing things from that new Parker's Heritage.
Yeah,
Once again, that's even more rare than.
Which Parker's Heritage is it?
This is like a double barreled something or other in it.
I'm not sure. I haven't. Something.
I think this year's was shit. I just saw. I've been watching a lot of year-end top 10 bourbons of the year shows lately, and it seems like that's right up in the top 3 in almost everybody's list.
I think that was Chad and Sarah's number 1, if I don't remember. If I remember right.
Yeah.
Oh, really? The last one I saw up here was the Orange Curacao.
That's the only one I've ever had. Thanks to Ty.
Yeah. Kim says this year's Parker's. So
yeah, that's that bourbon, the double-barreled.
I have
glorious.
Not tried it.
I bet you Ty has, but he's over there living it up in Denver this weekend.
So is the commercial tomorrow or the show tomorrow, or is it today?
I think he said he was traveling to Denver as we speak, so it's probably tomorrow.
So Ty is doing a live what's it, morning show? I guess it's a morning show.
Yeah,
he's doing some
news.
interview and maybe a magic trick or something like that live in Denver. So if you're in the area or can catch it online, check him out because that'd be awesome for him with his Super Bowl commercial or what? Not Super Bowl, football commercial, right? With
awesome.
Yeah,
the football blew up, and then I want to give him a plug, but I'm not a very good friend. I can't remember the name of his new podcast thing he's got going. But have you watched
Performer's Dream? Yeah,
I've watched 2 of the episodes.
Have you?
They're pretty good. I watched Cousin Curtis.
Okay.
And then he had one on, was it yesterday or the day before, with the magician? I can't remember his name, but it was another magician, and they were just talking about the old, just travel and finances and just different.
Yeah, so
that's such a cool thing that he's put together.
What we're trying to do is set up a space where people can learn from one another, from what I understand, and performers and musicians and artists and that kind of thing, where they can go and see the tips and tricks to become a successful individual. And he said whether that's podcasting or YouTube or like Corey with the art and whatnot, or whether it's a magician or musician. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, check out Performer's Dream. Ty he'll probably plug it at some point on here when he can make it back on. But he's doing a weekly live stream similar to this, where it's based on where I think he interviews the people, and I haven't watched them yet, but I will.
Yeah. Yep.
So check that. He's also doing a bit more with the 8 Times Up. He's done a couple live shows there too. So if you're not checking 8 Times Up, it's some fun stuff. And I'm stoked to get some swag because I'm usually one of the last guys to get it up here, which I'm totally fine with. But I'm pretty excited to see what that is.
I can show you, humble brag.
Yeah. What's that?
Anyway, Ty's not contacted me yet, but I really expect him to ask me for an interview about like hair of the dog, something like that.
How to deal with hangovers.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing to need performers to know. Yeah.
How to make an impression.
Yeah, and we'll see. Grease and I are going to be on an episode in a couple weeks, so that's awesome. And that's Performer's Dream. It's a group on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on Facebook, and then he's doing it on his YouTube channel, I think. So check that out. It'll be fun. It's fun.
I actually signed up just so I could get better at this.
Yeah. Well, you opened the show.
I did.
That's a big feat for Jason. And if you're in the chat, let's give him some praise, because Jason's not one to be like, I'll do this, and he jumped right in and nailed it. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's fun. Troy, we're still waiting on you to do it.
I'll do next week. Just give me like an hour's notice.
You heard it.
It's not what Ian usually does is, all right, we're going live. Either one of you guys want to kick it off? No? Okay.
Live. Well, yeah, today was a little chaotic with the snow and everything, but I'll try and plan better in the future. So
No, that was perfect.
I don't remember. Did I tell you guys my daughter's skating story last week
I don't think so.
of her falling?
No.
So we put my daughter's 5. She just turned 5 yesterday. Got some earrings in, which were interesting, and it worked out okay. But I don't like watching her cry after hurting herself for beauty. I think she's beautiful as is. We don't need to throw those anyways.
Yeah.
My wife and daughter was all excited. They look beautiful on her, the earrings. But so last week though, we've been taking them skating. So this is the second time on the ice. And so she starts out on these foam pads to get her balance on skates and whatnot, then moves onto the ice. And like cartoon characters where they kick their feet really fast and like Bugs, Roadrunner would kick his feet and go like
Tom
that.
and Jerry,
Yeah. So she does that because she thinks she's funny and she has decent balance. So she'll start doing it and the blades just go like crazy and then stop and balance. Well, like halfway through the skating lesson, she's doing it and completely caught an edge, straight forward, face straight on the ice. We didn't get cages for them because we didn't think well enough. So she's like face plants hard. And we're like, we're looking down, and she's a tough kid. Like, I'm not too worried about her in general. Face plants hard, so I'm kind of laughing, kind of like, oof, that was tough. My wife is laughing as well, and we're looking down, and then we see her face when she gets up, and it's dark. I'm like, oh no. Is that blood? We're not sure. It didn't look red, but we weren't sure what's going on. We're upstairs. And so then the lady who was helping her, definite hockey player, like hockey skates, braided hair, like looks like she could take a hit on the ice kind of thing, like we could definitely skate well. She puts her on her knee and chats with her, and you can see her saying, I want my parents, like whatnot, not crying yet. So that she skates her over the boards and hands her to us, and she starts crying then. And the lady that hands it to us, she's like, she's a tough kid. And we're like, oh, okay.
Nice.
So then we take her over to the bench, and we notice it's all blue, her face. It's not red. So we're like, okay, it's not blood, but what's the blue? Well, they use bingo dabbers to like make lanes so where they can skate. And I'm like, okay, it's just bingo dabber, don't worry about it. We're good. I have a baby wipe in the bag. I'll wipe your face off. So I get a baby wipe. Now, baby wipes are miracle working things. If you don't know that, they take stains out pretty easy. They're really good. And anything like hands wise, things come off really well. So I'm like, oh, I'll grab the baby wipe, and I start rubbing her face with it. Well, she hit the ice so hard it ground the bingo dabber into her face, and I couldn't get it off till the shower. And I'm like, whoa, you hit hard. She's like, yes. I didn't say much more. And I'm like rubbing
she's
off.
Lucky she's like, she didn't knock a tooth out.
I know. So she's
that's war paint now.
Yeah. So then we couldn't get it off. I'm like, do you want to go skate again, or do you just want to call it for night? She's like, I want to go skate again. So then she gets back on the ice, skates to the other place, like doesn't know how to skate, but like heads that way, gets there, and she's like, look at my face, it's blue, to like all the people. I'm like, oh man, maybe we should put her in hockey.
Did you see this?
Yeah, exactly. So for the rest of the skating time, she had a blue face, just kind of hacking around the ice. It was funny, but yeah, she's a tough kid.
That's awesome. That's a tough spot to be in, because it's fun to watch kids fall down.
But
agree. It's different when it's your own kid.
It's fun until like teeth are
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, not. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a tough one. She's. I think she should go in MMA. Like I'm 6'5", 260, fairly solid, and she can like throw me around a little bit, and she's like 40 pounds. I'm like, how do you know how to do this? This is silly. Like, so yeah, she's a tough one. My other daughter's the complete opposite, like dancer, artist, whatever, same 2 years older, but still 40 pounds and 10 inches taller, just a rail. So it's funny to see the difference. But we should have a Parrington. I can't say that word. Parenting. Yeah, it's been a long day. Flannel panel one time where we chat about funny stories. I think that'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys could have your kids on.
Oh yeah, mine are both.
That's true.
old
Yeah.
and gone now. I'm a empty
Mine are
nester.
asleep. That'd be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, we should do that one time.
I'm in.
All right.
Well, I know we're getting close to just a tip, but I was talking to you guys earlier about talking about parenting. I'm old enough now where I'm going this weekend. Patty and I are going Saturday with my son and his girlfriend, looking at a couple of houses. He's looking to buy a house. So
Wow.
it's just stages of life. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like kind of like melancholy and sad, but kind of happy, and it makes you think about what's to come. You know, here in the next couple of years. You know, I'm assuming they're going to get married. You would think. You know, right? You know, and then who knows,
You think.
kids or whatever else, and also he's looking to buy in my area. And he actually lives 2 hours, like in Columbus, which is 2 hours from here. So evidently they're moving back. So there's a lot of questions. Like, you don't have a job here yet. You know, maybe you should get a job before you get a house. But
Dad stuff, you know.
yeah, I'm not gonna.
Hey, Dad, co-sign for this for me, and I'm moving back home. I don't have a job. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how the mortgage company's got to feel about giving you the mortgage when you just quit your job. I don't know how that works, but
Yeah. That's a lot of feelings, Troy.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see on my face, but I'm a mess.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of bourbon going down.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. We should do that. All right. Should we do just the tips, or Jason, you got anything else?
No, we're good.
Well, it's
it
about
actually
that time. Oh,
okay.
It's about that time for. See, this is my just the tip.
That's okay.
And
is it your
it
tip?
is time for.
That sounds terrible too.
Just.
Look at that.
Boom.
It's backwards, but we're all dyslexic.
Just the tip.
Not on our camera.
Not on our camera. Just yours.
So in a good segue to parenting. This was actually, I got this gift. It was a Christmas present from my son, James, the one that's on.
That's beautiful.
He made this for my Christmas present. I'm really proud. The only reason I'm not wearing it is because I wanted to see both sides without standing up and looking like the hippo ballerina from Fantasia. So, but this is really cool. I got it in the mail. He was supposed to come up and visit and give it to me in person, but the travel plans messed up last week. So he sent it in the mail, and he's been tracking it every day via my texts. It's cool. He actually has a little Etsy shop called Crafts by James Newman. And I'll throw a link in my Instagram.
Cool.
And he does all sorts of stuff. I'm bad at surprises. So I've actually commissioned him to make coffee mugs for y'all with this logo on there.
Awesome.
He does coffee mug. He does t-shirts. They do banners, stickers, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was all made by my boy, and I can't wait to wear it. Thank you, James.
Proud dad moment right there.
I'm very proud. It was really cool. And speaking of which, he was the first one of my kids to buy a house. He actually made a killing. I'm going to brag about him here. So he has some disability, and one of the programs of the disability is kind of like a 401k, but you can use it for housing or schooling. So he saved up some of that. And we have an Air Force base. He lived up in northern Utah, and there's an Air Force base there. And they annexed a bunch of small homes. They used to be enlisted housing, but they just sold them. And he bought one, and he only paid. I think he paid like $90,000. I think he owed $80,000. He'd paid down on it, and this was a few years ago. Some renter guy walked up to his house and offered him $130,000 for the house.
Good for him.
So he cashed in and made a quick $50,000 and
Nice.
moved on. And now he's actually living in Oklahoma off of his little nest egg. He lives there and he has his little shop, and
awesome.
It's been great.
That's cool.
So thank you, James. Thank you so much. I can't wait to post this.
That's
so if you guys need coffee mugs or anything fun,
and check out that Crafts by James Newman. The link at The World in My Glass on Instagram.
I'm just saying, once our fans see that T-shirt, I'm thinking the flannel pants.
I'm telling you, and he's
for sure.
I was gonna do shirts, but the sizing thing, and I think we can all hide bourbon in a coffee mug. So I figured a coffee mug would be perfect for us.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll commission some stuff for a Flannel Fest in 2023.
There you go. Flannel Fest 2023. That sounds fun. All right, Troy, I gotta know.
All right, so I saw. Now this is a bourbon. I've never bought anything from this distillery before, but I saw a review for it a couple weeks ago, and looked like something I wanted to try. So this is a 96 proof high rye bourbon, 6 years old, and it's like a hot 36% rye. It's a Bardstown Origin. They just came out with this is like new this month.
Okay.
So it's like $45, something like that. But it is really good. It's very buttery, and I get honey and a nice finish and stuff. So they came out with this one, and they also did have a weeder. I think it's a bottled and bond, like 100 proofer for like $50, something like that. But it's all their distillate. And I don't know if I've never bought any Bardstowns, but I've looked at them in the store, and they on the side they list all of the barrels and mash bills and stuff. Well, this one here is just one. It's just 6-year-old
nice
high rye Bardstown distillate. So but it's actually very good. So
I love their stuff. I think that's one of our stops. When Whiskey Weekend was in Kentucky, I think we had the wine finished ones, which are excellent. I think we've had a Discovery series, but
it's very cool in there. We went in there a couple years ago, batch 3 maybe, and I was surprised to see like they had Kentucky Owl and things like that in there. So I think whoever they may sell barrels to, they carry their line, or I don't know how it works, but it's pretty cool.
And I will say, on a more petty note, that in my personal opinion, it's one of the best looking bottles on my shelf. There's something about that bottle shape that's just cool.
I was going to comment on that too. I like their bottles. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was excited to get. I was surprised to see it here already. So
I'm surprised you're recommending a 96 proof whiskey.
I know. You know why? My buddy JJ, who you guys know or have met, he is not a high proof guy. So this is going to be wonderful for him when he comes over, because I've got 100 bottles and 97 of them are 115 or higher. So, I don't really have anything to offer him. So unless he wants Elijah Craig, that's it. Yeah.
Nice. I'll have to look for it. I hope we get some stuff like that. We just got the Jack Daniel's Bonded and stuff. What else? Oh, I just bought Sagamore. What is it? The Sagamore Spirit? Yeah, the rye, but it was the double oaked one. So
that's another one. I've never tried any of their stuff, but I hear good things about all that too.
So I kind of screwed myself because I knew it was around $60 up here, 69, something like that. For the base one. And and I was like, okay, I'll grab it this time. I was at the store, and then I grabbed it, but it didn't have a price below it. But this was the double oaked, so it was 100. It was like 96 or $100 up here. So I ended up buying it anyway, and I'm excited to try it. I think I've heard some good reviews from that stuff, but I think there were store picks maybe. So I'm curious to see what this one's like, but it'll be a fresh crack at some point soon.
Yeah. And when I was at the liquor store, another one I've never tried, or maybe you guys know more about them than I do, the guy at the liquor store recommended, there was a Penelope that he said was really popular. I don't know if it was a double oaked or something, but I've never bought any Penelope or tried any of that.
That Oak and Thieves Penelope pick was absolutely delicious. They did one called Elegance. It's Elegance, yeah. And it's very delicious. Like, granted, it's a store pick, so I don't know close to the regular offering, but it was very good.
Cool. Well, the tip is gonna go down the food alley again. They're both at Costco, so I'm not sure if it's the same down in the south or whatnot as it is up here, but they have these Kirkland brand chips that are cut in strips, corn chips that are in strips, not a triangle.
Oh.
And if you like queso or cheese dip, a strip is fantastic because it doesn't jam up and whatnot, and you can just get it in the jar all the way without. You can get the whole
Get it in
queso
there.
effect on there. Exactly. Get it in there.
Yeah.
So you don't have to reach all the way down the shaft to scoop it up. It's like
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
shaft is stiff enough to hold the weight.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if a chip's got a shaft.
A strip does.
You're reaching for that shaft, I think.
It's a strip. It's
Yeah,
got to have
agree.
a shaft.
Yeah. The second part of it is the Kirkland fresh queso with cheddar. And it's like it looks terrible actually. It looks like cream cheese with some yellow in it, but my goodness, is it delicious. So those strip chips with the queso, it's a good
So
evening.
We know this past weekend's been the Costco.
Yeah.
You
My
guys
wife
together.
went to Costco and I looked at the jar of this queso. I'm like, that looks disgusting. She goes,
Yeah.
try it.
Do
I was
it.
like, okay. And I was like, nope, buy another one of those, please.
Shut up and eat it.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever bought at a Costco?
Oh,
In bulk, whatever, just things that like you can't believe you walked out of the store with it.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Like in college, you buy the jumbo case of ramen noodles or something.
Okay,
Think back
ramen
to school.
noodles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure where he was going with that.
I was when my son was moved into his apartment, I was giving him a little bit of a housewarming gift. So I bought him his first set of groceries and we went to Costco. And just for fun, just to be weird, I bought this gigantic 5-pound can of hominy. Just randomly
Hominy?
off the just hominy. And I left it in his pantry. And like 4 or 5 days later, when he started looking through the pantry, he's like, I get a text. What am I supposed to do with this? Like, get on YouTube. You have 5 pounds of the stuff. You can figure it out.
Wow. I
Who
don't know.
knows?
That's
Maybe
something.
during the apocalypse, I'll be eating hominy.
I don't know what the weirdest thing I bought is. I buy a lot from Costco though. It's kind of my go-to for anything.
I don't have a local Costco. We go to Sam's Club, which I'm assuming is about the same thing. But I like to go and buy the giant chunks of meat for my smoker, like tomahawk ribeyes, or those are delicious.
Nat won't go with me anymore because when she's shopping, I like to just, because I'm a totally rational human being. I like to create a theme in my cart that'll make the cashier go, what the hell is happening? Do I need to call the authorities? So I'll get like a big bunch of flowers and some duct tape and like a gallon thing of KY and put it in there and throw some work gloves in there just for fun and safety glasses.
Whole bunch of cucumbers and
yeah, exactly. And that 5-pound can of hominy. That's where it came from. So
gotcha.
So she it's fun. It's even more fun at Walgreens. Although Walgreens, they don't even bat an eye. They've seen it all. Costco's a little more sheltered. You can get a better reaction out of Costco.
Well, okay.
I think we've hit rock bottom.
I think
You're
we
welcome.
have Jason's
You are welcome.
Jason's
I think everybody
works
should-
coming out with that one.
Everybody's tuned out by now, I think.
Well, next week we'll see who we have on. Jason, are you working next week?
Nope, we're good.
All right. So we'll be rolling. We'll see you all then for another Whiskey Wednesday, or maybe some clever title if we can have more time to, if I get a little bit more time to be inventive. And until next time,
Stay buttoned up.
stay buttoned up.
Boy.
Cheers, everybody.